Hey friends, have you ever wondered why it matters to be validated and how can you use this to build trust? I've got some secrets here today I bet you've never heard of before. Listen in. Hey, I'm Lydia. I used to be an ordinary stay-at-home mom and wife. We had 2 kids, and for 3 years, everything was perfect until we got pregnant again. But this time with quadruplets. There was so much stress going from a family of 4 to a family of 8 overnight, so I created a system for renewing our relationships. This channel is dedicated to sharing that system, every single part of it. I love teaching how to connect, manage emotions, and turn it all into growing together times. You're going to find all that information right here. Okay, so what does it mean to be validated? Why is it important? And how can you use this to build trust? It's so easy, but we don't ever think about it. I got a story to share with you. First, what is validation? When we get validated, it's like someone's paying attention to us. We hear, we see that we're understood, we feel noticed. It's like somebody actually cares about who we are and they go out of their way to make sure we know that we are important. Okay, so this is a really, really, really important piece of building relationships, especially in those marriages that we're trying to strengthen and have long-lasting marriages that are fun and happy for us to be in, not just enduring to the end, but we're going to enjoy this marriage that's going to last a lifetime or longer. So we want to be validated and we want to validate each other all the time. So if we're parking, have you ever been to a parking garage and you get to go inside and shop at a place and they validate your parking, right? They give you a little sticker or something to put on your card, and you take it back out to the parking lot and you say, I've been validated. And then your parking is free or paid for in part. Usually it's free if you've been within the certain parameters. So validating parking is kind of similar. I know it might be a stretch, but come with me anyway. Validating parking, how does that relate to our marriage relationships? When we are validated, we feel blessed. You ever go out? I know I have felt like when I go out after getting that validation sticker on my parking, I was like, yes, I don't have to pay for parking. Woohoo! And then I just drive away and the day is even better after my shopping experience or my going out to lunch there or whatever it was that I did. When I remember to get validated, I'm so much happier than when I get to the checkout at the parking lot. I was like, oh, I forgot to get that validation sticker. Oh no. Well, I guess I'm paying for it. And so this is what we kind of have a similar situation in our relationships. If we forget to validate each other, oh, we're going to have to pay for it. Okay. And when we do validate each other, it just is an exciting, happy, woohoo. It's a great day. It's a great day when we validate. Okay, so here's the simple, really easy way to do it. Because, like, how do we do this, right? How do we validate each other? It's so easy. You actually listen to what they're saying. And how do you know that someone's listening and paying attention to you? They look at you. They might not look at you, but they could say, uh-huh, I get you. I hear you. So what you're saying is, and this is such a magical, great phrase to include in all of our conversations whenever we're talking with someone that we want them to know that we are caring about them, that we're actually paying attention to the conversation. We say something like, so what you're saying is, and then we reiterate what we heard them say in our own words to validate that we heard them. And if we don't get the same message that they're trying to tell us, then they receive a message subconsciously, oh, they're interested in what I say. They're interested in me. Because when we're interested in what people have to say, it's like we're interested in that person. And so it's very validating and very sustaining and helpful in a healthy relationship. And all you got to do is repeat what they say. You can say, so the way I understand it is you're saying whatever it is that they seem to be saying in your mind, the way you understand it. And try not to include any judgment. You're just trying to understand and communicate back to them that you are trying to understand. And then they can say, yeah, that is what I said. Or they would say, no, you missed it. Not at all close. And then they try again. And then you say, oh, so this is what you mean. And you say it again. And hopefully this time you get it. But if you don't, then they say, no, let me try again. This is what I'm trying to say. And the third time, if you have a need 3 times, then you need to include something extra, because at 3 times, it's not like you're trying to understand. The message then is frustration and why can't I just get this into your head? And it can escalate and turn into an argument instead of validating. So you gotta be really careful. If you have 3 times that you're trying to understand and you say, oh, so what you're saying is, and it's still not right, you must include an apology. I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand. Let me see if I can do this again. You can also include the apology, I'm sorry, before in the other times, but you really need to on the 3rd time, or it's really, really frustrating and walls go up and people start trying to, like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I figure out how to tell you what I want to say? Or what's wrong with you? Why can't you figure it out? Neither way is good, right? Neither way is what we want to say or feel. And so it's really important that you say, I'm sorry, I'm really trying to figure this out. Let me take a deep breath and actually do it. Take a deep breath, and I'm going to try extra hard. And then you really, really try hard to look at them and pay attention. And if they say a word that you're not understanding, or sometimes the words have dual meanings, or like the word buff, in some houses, buff means like you're really strong, and in other households, buff means you're naked and you don't have any clothes on. So even these little words that really you think have no consequence of anything, make sure that you understand all the little pieces that make up the whole conversation. And ask them, do you mean buff like muscular, or do you mean buff like you don't have any clothes on? And clarify and verify. Okay, that's what we want to do. Clarify and verify to validate. Okay, I love saying that. That's such a fun thing. You can say it with me. Clarify and verify to validate. And this builds trust. This builds connection. This builds hope. And really, really, if you can do this 3 or 4 times without having any arguments in between, 3 or 4 times of being validated will really, really change your relationship and really increase that connection that you're looking for, and that love and that communication that you really seek for. You only got to do it a couple of times, and it doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes consistent times. Okay, so if this has been really good for you, share it out. Subscribe, follow, all the things you got to do. Go ahead and do that, and let me know how this is changing your relationship when you verify, clarify, verify, and validate, so that you can have that happy experience at the end where you go out to the parking lot and you're like, yes, I get extra awesomeness today, instead of, oh no, I forgot to validate. I'm gonna have to pay for that. We don't want to have to pay when we don't, we've already paid in a different way, right? We've got this committed relationship, and it's gonna be even more awesome than ever because you're taking these extra steps. All right, sign up, subscribe, follow, share, all those good things. and get on the list so that you can be first to know when our next relationship workshop is. I'm rooting for you. You're doing great. Don't give up.